spirits, and when him and the apprentice Magi uh, were like on the road together, and when the North King of the like North sent his emissaries to the King of the Union. Um, and I just got to the second part, which is around page 200, which is when Logan and Bayaz, like when he does magic and like kills all those guys with fire. It's like super cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next chapter, which is the next part, shows Yulawe, the woman in the desert, and
Okay.
the magician that she like finds that like comes up to her. So that's where I'm at. They just like met each other, and she's burying her prison mates.
Okay. Have you run into, I think they call them like the Eaters yet?
Mentioned them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I really enjoyed how magic is portrayed in that series because it seems so rare, so that makes it like more special.
yeah,
And it's almost like shocking when people use magic because it is so rare, so it has more like impact to me.
yeah. I like that very much. I like when magic is magical.
Yeah. I also really liked like the rawness and the grittiness of the world where um I mean it's just like so it'd
Yeah,
be hard
it's
for
a hard
me.
ass place.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be hard to think of like another fantasy world that's more gritty than that. But I liked it. I thought it was enjoyable. Well, I guess more gritty would be that one series that you really like. Um, hang on, the the darkness that comes before.
Hmm.
Yeah, that. See, I would consider that more gritty. Yeah.
I think the thing, yeah, that's true. It's pretty dang gritty. There's a post online. He wrote some short stories
Hmm.
about uh, gladiators fighting in the shrink pits, and
Mm.
there's a scene where the militia is beating a mob of people with cudgels to like get
Mm.
them in order. And somebody on the quote, like somebody on the like post was like, "Oh, they only beat them with cudgels. Civilization has come to the land." Like,
Oh my gosh. Oh, that sounds brutal.
yeah.
How many candy canes do you have left?
After this one,
Yeah? Oh no. You have
yeah.
to re-up.
Well, I've got a bunch of peppermint ones, which are good, but these Starburst ones are so good.
The best kind.
They're so good.
Nice. Nice.
I like them a lot.
Is is work is work okay for you or is it like really stressful?
It's okay, and
Not
it's stressful, but
yeah.
like I just send emails all day, so
Yeah. I mean, that can be that can be stressful though,
yeah,
you
it's
know.
stressful, but like I still get to not think about it when I clock out,
Yeah.
which like that's never something that I've been able to do at any of my previous jobs. Like I've always had to like do work after I leave because I've been a manager or like somebody that runs it. Um,
Yeah.
uh, and here I just leave when I clock out. So like, yes, it is like stressful and the workload is like too heavy, but there's also like
Yeah.
things about it that are really good. And I'm going to be working with Calvin to get somebody in to help me because
Okay.
it's just too much.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
I had a,
I Oh, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
I was just saying I had a chat with Ashley last week, because I was out Friday, so I messaged her Thursday and was like, "Hey, I like here's like what I've done like to prepare you." She was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, no one told you I was going to be gone. Like,
Oh
I guess
no.
I should make sure that happens now, like because
Yeah.
Calvin doesn't think about doing it." And so I was like, "Hey, here are the days I'm going to be off that I know about." And she was like, "Oh, well, I'm not here either on the first." And I was like, "That's my birthday weekend. Like, what the fuck?" She's like, "Yeah, we need to get somebody else trained." And I was like, "Yeah, because now I'm going to take a week because fuck
Yeah.
you." Like,
Yeah.
and so I messaged her back and I was like, "Hey, you're not doing anything this week, right?" And she's like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm taking that week off." And she's like, "I can't do it for a week." And I was like, um,
It's my birthday week.
you're
You're
gonna
gonna
have
have
to."
dinner.
Yeah, and she was like, "Well, I might be taking a cruise with my girlfriend that week." And I was like, "Well, let me know because I'll just take the week, whatever week you're not doing it on."
There you go.
So like I know she's gonna bitch to Calvin, and like if that's what it takes to get me help in there, then that's what it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my plan.
I think that's an amazing plan, and I agree with it 100% because yeah, well,
Like there
I
were some days at the end of the year that like I wasn't constantly working, that I was able to like watch an episode of West Wing throughout the day, or
yeah,
like like
exactly.
chill. But
Exactly.
that was maybe 2 weeks worth of days out of the whole like time that I took over like
Mhm.
last June. Um, and now it's back to like there's not enough time. Like I'm constantly working the whole day
Yeah.
and I still don't finish. And that's okay. Like I'd rather be busy all day,
Mhm.
but like I can't accomplish the things he wants me to accomplish. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta tell him like, hey, if you want me to accomplish those things, this is what I need. And also like I am gonna need someone to train when I leave because Ashley
Yeah.
doesn't fucking do it right. And she's also not
Yeah.
expected to do it right. Like she doesn't have the same credentials that I have. There's so many things that she just can't do. So like
Your your experience kind of echoes a lot of the experiences that I hear at Novatech. Like Gwen is always stressed out, always has too much work. Like the resources that she needs are always broken because of Juan. you know, so um and then like Christy, I it's probably good that you don't come into the office anymore because it's not like a fun place to be. It's a lot of sighing, it's a lot of like, muttering, like
it would be the same thing if I was there. Like you'd be getting the same thing from me. Like the only reason I'm
yeah.
able to like compartmentalize as much as I do is because I smoke 20 cigarettes from when I clock in to when I clock out. Like that's
That's
why.
so many. Wow, dang.
That's fine because that's my favorite thing to do. But
I need to grow tobacco on Kelly's farm for you. And that'll be like my present to you. I'll give you loose leaf tobacco.
I'll stack it up on burlap sacks for 2 years, and
That'd
then
be
I will
sweet.
roll cigarettes and
Yeah.
put them
If
in my
I
poke.
if I grew tobacco for you, would you smoke it?
Hmm.
Yeah, that honestly would make me like really happy. I'd be like, yes, it's going to good use. Hmm.
I'm looking up tobacco poke. I want to know what it is.
Yeah, what is that?
Well, the internet thinks I want to smoke Pokemon, so that's what we're starting with. I think it's such a this information is so unclear. What I'm pretty
Tobacco.
sure it is it's just a container for loose leaf tobacco that you use to like, and it probably has like a thin uh opening to like pour out a small amount
Hmm.
to use for rolling cigarettes is what I assume it
Oh.
is. But the internet's not. It wants me to smoke Pokemon.
Interesting. Have you ever smoked like loose leaf tobacco before?
Um, yeah, I've rolled cigarettes, because that was like a
Yeah.
thing people did in rehab. Um,
Huh.
but like it's not necessarily better. At least the
Oh.
quality of that the tobacco that's available. Um,
Mm. Mm.
compared with like just the ease of having a cigarette, like that's like easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've smoked pipes before too, like tobacco pipes.
Hmm.
And it's kind of like a cigar. It's not the same thing. And when I finish it, I'm like, now I want a cigarette. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe because what you like is the nicotine, and they probably put a lot more nicotine in the cigarettes, maybe?
That's probably it. And I also like the act of smoking and like how that feels. So when I do something else that's not that, I'm like, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with
Almost
same
like,
with same with vaping.
yeah.
Like I tried vaping and like getting into that, and I would vape for a bit, and then I'd be like, and now I want a cigarette.
Oh, interesting. So it's
and
something about like the motion too, and
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and like the physical like feeling, and it's just me being a baby and wanting to like enjoy my vice the way I want to enjoy it. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
mean,
vaping was
everyone.
troublesome too because I could always smoke. Like whereas a cigarette, like, oh man, I don't need another cigarette right now. I just had one, like whatever. Whereas vaping, I could just constantly vape. So it's like hard to do it in an incremental way. When I was like had a vape, like if I was able to vape, I constantly did it. Like,
I I like chewing gum. Like it keeps, well, this is gonna sound weird. Like it keeps my mouth busy. Like it feels like I'm doing something, and I feel more on point when I chew gum. Um I think another reason, and people have thought, like theorized about this, is apparently when you smoke like nicotine, Stephen King, when he was doing his best work, he was smoking cigarettes and also doing cocaine. But the thought was that nicotine is like it helps you think better, like it can make you more creative and like more focused. Do you find that?
um, it's hard to say because I don't really go without it.
Oh,
Um,
true, true.
but yes, in the sense that like, um, because like when I have tried to quit, and I quit for 6 months when I was 21. But you know that was 13 years ago.
Mm,
Uh, the hardest thing about doing it is because like when you stop doing an addiction, it makes you feel like you're never going to enjoy anything again because you can't have that thing.
mhm.
So you like, you don't want to engage in things you enjoy. So when you do have it, like lights up your whole brain. So yeah, like it does like have an effect, uh, that's
Interesting.
sharpening.
Really?
But
Okay.
it's also one of those things that like if you never have it, it's not like it's going to make you better at things. You might feel that way like the first time that you do it. I mean, it's certainly that way with a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
And like statistically, like yes, like you are able to process information faster, like the first time that you do a drug, certain ones.
Mm,
Um, but like that is the only time that effect happens. Like
mm, mhm,
once it becomes habitual or like you're participating in addiction, like that immediately is not the case.
mm.
Um,
I getcha. Okay, interesting. Because I remember people theorizing that when King was doing his best work, especially like the first 5 or 6 books he released, was like Carrie, Salem's Lot, The Shining, The Stand. Those are all like very early works. I think people thought that like all the drugs that he was on was actually making the work better, which I don't know. Maybe it was. What do you think?
I mean, there might be like a little bit of something to that like he was more willing to think in ways and to write in ways that like he would stop on a sober brain. He'd be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. But also, like, I
Yeah.
think people don't consider the fact that art is like the creation of art is a difficult thing for anyone to do. So the first stuff that you do, like there's this balance between skill and inspiration. And a
Hmm.
lot of times like people start with a lot of inspiration and not a lot of skill, and like they're inverse logs. um
Yeah.
so now he's very skillful, but like he's used up his inspiration pool. So that's kind of how I
Mm.
see it. And
Yeah.
I
Nice.
like Stephen King, so his
Yeah.
later books like I do enjoy, but he got
Yeah.
all of his good ideas out of the way early on because they were fresh.
Oh, okay. You might be onto something. Like those ideas that he had in his head all that time. You might be right. Maybe he used up all those like really really good ideas. But then yeah, like now he can really write a great page turner because he's kind of honed his craft. So he's kind of visiting the same themes um but he can write like a page turner now. I really like that
I
theory. I
I
think
think it's I
yeah.
think it's true. I see it in my own self. Like I can make really good art, but I can't just make it. Like I have to be inspired to do it, and then it's
Yeah.
not always the same. And that's because I haven't crafted my skill. I just have the
Yeah.
inspiration, and I'm kind of naturally skillful. Like I never worked at it.
Right. Right.
Whereas somebody who's trained at it, can produce. Um, but they'll probably have some works that like they see as their like magnum opus. And I know as a creator too, like in Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, that there's been ideas that I've revisited because I was like, oh, I want to get it right and do it better. um
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's absolutely the case.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Um,
So good.
Speaking of role playing, Kim, I confirmed with Kim a couple days ago, so she's gonna shoot for Saturday. She was like, "What time?" And I was like, "Noonish, I guess." I don't think we set a time, so I was
We
just
didn't, but
like,
that works. Yeah.
yeah, like noonish. And I was like, uh, I want if I was like, if you have an outfit, you can dress up. And she's like, I don't have an outfit, but I have a wand. I was like, please bring it. Then we were talking on Discord and I ordered a Slytherin outfit from China. So hopefully it will be here on time so
Nice.
I can wear my Slytherin outfit to the role playing game. So but yeah, it's pretty much it's all set up. I have it set up so that the decisions that you make in the first campaign will affect the next campaign if you guys like it. If you're like, wow, this is really cool, then we can continue it. But like if you kill a guy in the first campaign, then he'll just be dead in the second, or like stuff you guys choose. I think you guys will like that. Kind of like Mass Effect a bit, you know.
I like that. I like player agency.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to build that in where there'll be like a moment where you make a decision and then that'll kind of like impact the next session. So it feels more like you're, like really there, like making impactful decisions.
Yeah, and you want your players to feel like what they do matters in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had an idea, and I'm going to start working on it.
What is it? What is it? Is it Harry
I
Potter?
No, it's role playing esque.
Mm,
What I would really like to do is create a siege, like a one
Steve.
shot siege, kind of like Helm's Deep,
Oh,
where
okay.
you like the players create powerful players,
Okay.
and it's not a campaign, it's just this one event. that we do. And you are protecting some type of fortification or castle or fortress or whatever
Oh,
from a siege that's happening, from an army that's trying to get in. And I'm not quite sure like what
oh,
the
that's
goals are and stuff, but I
I'd
want
be
it
very
to
into
have
that.
like like natural episodes or encounters, and like
Yeah.
I want the concept to be like it's going you're going to lose. Like the best, the end of this is a retreat. Like I want it to be like Helm's Deep, like overwhelming odds, like no way you can win.
Oh, okay.
And so what you're
Unexpected.
trying to do is like I don't know if I'm gonna have like like they did in Helm's Deep, where like oh there's a passage and you can get people out, but you have to work at clearing the passage. So you have to balance like how much of your resources like are you putting at clearing the passage and how much are you putting at like keeping back the forces.
Mm.
Um, I wanted to be some tug like that. And I wanted to have
Yeah.
stages where it's like at the beginning of the siege, you have these resources, like, you'd have whatever defenses you have on the outer wall. But like, so you have to make that last as long as you can before they fall. And the longer you make it last, the more time you have to, get whoever to safety or whatever it is. So I'm trying to figure out the framework, but I want it to be like uh outer wall, killing ground, inner wall, sanctuary, and like those be like the stages where like you keep falling back, like how they did in Lord of the Rings, like how you fall back as more of your keep is taken.
Yeah.
um and I also want it to be like a way for the players to roll up like extremely powerful characters and then not be afraid about using their abilities and holding it off because all the shit's going down right now.
Yeah. Would it be based off of Dungeons and Dragons? Is that like the framework for it?
I believe so. I think that's the framework I want to use.
I think so too. And you start off at like level 50.
Yeah, it would be something like crazy like that. Level 20 is as high as you get in D&D,
Never mind.
but a lot of, players never really get to that level. And it's hard to balance D&D like past a certain point. So I want to put this impossible encounter so that I don't have to pull my punches at the DM.
Yeah.
And I can really just like hammer and see what they can do. And also like let people make characters that like they understand that like these odds, like this is built like to end.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's almost like a suicide run type of type of feel. Or maybe
yeah.
not. Maybe okay.
Um and I don't want it to be like the ending is you die. Like that's not necessarily one. I want that to be the likely ending. I want it to be like you're probably all going to die. Um
Oh, I like that
um
though. Like you go in expecting everyone's is going to die, but then maybe like one or two people live, and then it's like, whoa, you know.
Yeah, and I want to box it in and make it really hard, but also really fun and challenging. But that's why
Yeah.
I want to do it as a one shot because I don't want it to be characters that people have spent years playing or anything like that. I want people to
Hmm.
know what they're getting into,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and have that experience. And also
Hmm.
like if it's something like a siege, that's why I want to do a siege because I can design a really cool castle, and castles favor the defenders. So like you're going to
True.
probably have the high ground. And I want the
Oh,
players to be able to come up with clever ways to make it better for themselves. So like if they come out on top because like they're able to do some ridiculous thing and bring down a whole fucking mountain on the army, like I want that to happen. Um
like basically like Wheel of Time, the last few books of Wheel of Time where Rand is super powerful and the Asha men, they're like opening up portals and like shooting freaking lava through it and
yeah,
like whatever else they were doing. I'm trying to remember everything they were doing in those last couple books. It was wild.
yeah. The what do they call those portals? Death mouths? Is that what they called them?
Something like
The
that.
moving portals that just like opened and then like moved through, like,
Oh,
oof.
yeah, yeah. There was like these, yeah, like moving portals that would like kind of dismember you, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
There was also this beam, like he would shoot out this beam that would like take you out of reality. Like,
Yeah, I can't remember what that was called, but that was one of my favorite things about the series. Is yeah, it was a destructive beam that killed you back in time.
mm-hmm. That was so freaking cool. I think they
So
introduced it in
so cool.
book 6 or 7 is when they first introduce it.
Because you
Um,
you find out the bore, like the hole in the evil god's prison, is
mhm.
because of that beam. Like that's why he's able to affect the world, is because they did one of those spells powerful enough so that it was like this little portion of his cage was never there. So he was able to influence the
Oh,
world.
okay. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I remember being so taken with that concept of like you had this beam where you could blast somebody with it and it was like they never existed ever. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is freaking
Yeah,
wild.
the concept is like mind blowing, where you could like
Hmm.
destroy somebody so completely that you change the events of the world because it was as if they never existed. Like
Yeah.
it's so nuts.
Robert Jordan just had some of the wildest ideas. Not always executed in the coolest way, considering how awesome the concepts were, but really like amazing, amazing, cool ideas.
I'm
Um,
pretty sure I'll reread that whole series like again because
mhm,
yeah, his concepts and his world building, like even the things that like were frustrating about the book series at the times were like it was like a challenge to read through, like
mhm.
that did exist, but like the way he crafted the world and the male female aspect of magic and the world state where like women were the powerhouses because only women could do magic without going insane, like that's a really like nobody ever like did that before him. Nobody made like women the power thing like in a medieval fantasy. Like so cool.
Yep, yep. Yeah, that whole idea was brand new. Um, I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I think it's in the first book. It's they enter the ways, and the ways is like this shadowy, dark, ancient tunnel, and they're going through it, and they need someone to like translate the language inside so that they know where to go. And there's like these creatures inside trying to basically kill them. And I read somewhere that Robert Jordan actually anticipated bringing that back for like the final battle, and it was going to be a way for like an army to go from one point to another point for like this big giant, battle royale. But for whatever reason, that never came to fruition. And I always thought it would have been so cool if he had brought the ways back and used it in that way. Had you ever heard that?
I feel like he did do that. I feel like that
Oh,
did
did
happen.
he?
I don't know if it was on such a large scale as like a whole army, but I feel like a group of people did go through the ways. Oh hi.
Hello.
Hello, I'm sorry I'm so late.
It's
You're
okay.
fine.
We've been nerding out for half an
Yeah.
hour.
As you should.
Yeah. We have a very special episode of Harry Potter book club today.
Yes. I'm excited.
All the secrets will be revealed.
I'm what secrets? I want to know.
So, I'll start by saying, do you guys know about the Harry Potter graveyard in Edinburgh in England?
Oh,
Not because it doesn't sound familiar. No.
Okay. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Let me see. And I just found this out last night. Okay. So you guys can click on this link when you're not driving so you don't die. And
area.
I'll describe it to you.
Okay, thank you. Describe it to me as if I was blind.
so I'll start to read through the article, which I found fascinating. So apparently she wrote the first book in a place called the Elephant House. I guess it's like a cafe or something.
Yeah, I suppose it sounds sort of like a cafe or even like a pub. Something. Yeah.
Yeah. So within walking distance of this place called the Elephant House is a graveyard or a cemetery. So you walk into the cemetery, and right near the entrance, one of the large gravestones has the Potter family. So Anne Potter, Robert Potter. Okay, interesting. But you might be thinking, okay, well, maybe she didn't walk through this, graveyard coming up with all the names. But
Right.
then as you go deeper into this cemetery, they also have the grave of William McGonagall, poet, and J.K. Rowling says that Professor McGonagall was actually named after him.
Huh.
You go further into the cemetery, and what else? Oh yeah, this was good. So people found the gravestone for Thomas Riddle, Tom Riddle, also in this
Oh,
cemetery. Yeah,
okay, I like that.
yeah, it's wild, right? So you've got McGonagall, the Potters, Tom Riddle, and then some other characters. Some of them I'm not familiar with. I guess I'll find them later in the series. Um,
Yeah, there's one for
Professor,
Moody, one for Scrimgour.
yep, yep.
Nice. Okay.
So at first I was like, did she actually walk through this cemetery and then start grabbing names? But then at the end they're like, oh, here's the grave of Thomas Riddle. I was like, okay, so she definitely like took a stroll through the cemetery and started getting names. I thought that was so cool, and people take tours of the cemetery now and get their picture taken, which I guess is kind of disrespectful.
I definitely want to do that. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. What popped into my head was if they had some sort of like scavenger hunt.
That'd be awesome. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Because what if
Like,
people haven't found all the names?
right.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So many dead people.
All right. On to the next part of Harry Potter Secrets. So, um, did you, when you guys were reading the series, did you ever think that there was like kind of like more meaning to the names of the characters, like hidden meanings to the names of all the characters in Harry Potter?
Yeah, I think once Lupin got introduced, I was like,
There was you could probably find it. It was, I mean, this was back in like freshman or sophomore year of high school, so this was a while ago. But I
Mhm.
remember this site sort of, maybe it was like, I don't know, like even the Harry Potter wiki site. But
Mhm.
anyway, it had like a lot of the character names, or even like names of places, and it had like the meanings of each one, or like where they were derived from,
Yeah.
like a Latin word
Yep.
that came, whatever, and it
Yep.
was super cool. And like most of
Yep.
them had some sort of reference that
Yep.
had to do with their character. Like Voldemort is one for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah.
know that was one.
And obviously is I don't remember. I don't remember all the other ones, but I remember like especially Lupin. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Do you remember Lupin's first name?
Remus, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And do you know the reference there?
I don't remember.
Let me see. I don't want to speak out of turn.
Isn't it Nordic mythology?
Thought it was Roman mythology. Romulus and Remus
That's
are
it,
twin
yeah.
brothers.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I couldn't remember if it was Romulus and Remus. I was thinking Romulus, but I was like, is the other name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The image of a she-wolf suckling the twins in their infancy has been a symbol of the city of Rome. Obviously, the reference to a wolf with it, which I found interesting.
Right.
The constellation, the Sirius constellation. Do you
Oh
guys
yeah,
know?
that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
So I read last night that the Sirius constellation is also known as the dog star. So it's supposed to represent a dog, where Sirius Black would then transform into a dog.
Right.
Yeah. 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 Super cool, right?
Voldemort
Albus. Oh,
has, I was gonna
oh
say
no, go ahead. Yeah.
has something to do with like I think it's like the like Mort basically
Yep.
is
Yep.
I think is it Latin for death or something like that or
French, I believe.
yeah, maybe it's French. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
But which is kind of cool because kills a lot of people.
If you break up his name into three parts, it's a phrase in French. So it's Vol de Mort,
That's right.
which in French could be translated as flight from death or thief of death, which people think references to the fact that he wanted to be immortal.
Yep.
Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah, you're right.
Wow, I never thought
Drake,
of that. And that never.
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Draco. Oh,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna say
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
details like that.
Yeah.
Stories.
Draco Malfoy. Any guesses?
I know Draco is dragon.
Yep.
I don't know about Malfoy though.
So Mal, so like as we all know, like Mal is like malware is bad.
Yeah, evil in Latin, I
Mhm.
think.
That's also bad in Spanish too.
Yep, exactly. So Malfoy, if you translate it, bad trust or someone who can't be trusted,
Ah,
is how they translated it. Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. Um, Albus Dumbledore. So in ancient times, the Romans called England Albion because of the white cliffs,
Yeah.
and Albus means white because he is like his white hair.
Yeah.
Dumbledore is a ancient word for bumblebee because according to the writer J.K. Rowling, he would kind of like putter around the castle like humming or like kind of like humming to
Yeah.
himself like a bee would be buzzing around a castle.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
I love that that's an ancient word for bumblebee. That's so good. Great. I'm gonna call them all dumb.
I think it's so cool that she put so many details and so much thought into coming up with all these names.
Yeah, because so much of that had to be thought like way before publishing the first book.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely. There's a character called Beatrix?
Uh-huh. Yep.
And she's from the same family as like Sirius.
Yes.
Apparently, the constellation that relates to her is of a female warrior. So apparently there's that
Wait, do you
connection.
mean Bellatrix?
Maybe that's what I meant. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was like, wait, that sounds right, but it also doesn't sound right. I was saying,
My bad.
no,
I
it's
haven't
okay.
met the character yet, so.
That doesn't sound right, but what is it? Oh wait.
Sorry, Beth. I think I said Beatrix.
But then it's okay. What's even more hilarious is you did say Beatrix. Then I was thinking Beatrix Potter, like the author.
Whoops. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, that's probably where I got that from. Because I started reading about her last night as well.
Yes, but she is Sirius's family. She's sort of like some way. I can't remember exactly how. I think they're like cousins or something. No, maybe
Okay.
they're
Yeah, Bellatrix and Sirius are cousins.
cousins. Okay.
Nice.
If they were siblings or cousins, I don't know.
I feel like Thomas is looking up all the different name meanings right now on Google.
Oh, I'm looking at the noble and most ancient house of Black.
Oh.
Looking at their family tree.
Nice.
Because in the video game, one of their ancestors is the current headmaster of Hogwarts, which is fun.
Ah, that's cool.
And
Wait,
he
who was
banned
it?
Phineas Black. Phineas Nigellus Black.
Okay. And he bans
Quidditch so that the game designers don't have to make Quidditch happen.
Oh man.
Smart on that.
It tells you immediately too. It's in the first like 20 minutes of the game. It's like as soon as you like you do your things and you get to Hogwarts and it's like also Quidditch isn't happening.
We decided we're not doing this.
I wonder if they started with that or if they tried it more like this isn't working.
Yeah. This will take even longer to get the game out.
It'll never come out.
In the like a game reason as to why it's banned? Like it's unsafe or I don't know.
It's always been unsafe.
There is I can't remember why he banned it. I think there was like a lawsuit and it was a Black family member who like got injured the previous year, which is why he banned it. And it was like to not so that the kid didn't have to go back and play. I can't remember exactly, but there is like an in-game reason.
Okay.
It might just be that Phineas is an asshole.
Yeah, that also makes.
I like the lawsuit reason. I think that's a lot funnier.
I'm gonna look it up.
I like the thought that if it was a Black family member who got injured, just like everybody before that person, like the centuries of people getting injured in Quidditch, the one person who is in your family that gets injured, and you're like, nope, it's banned. For everyone.
For everyone. We can't handle this. Lawsuit.
Yeah.
All right. There's actually a note in the game that you can find.
Oh, really?
The patient was injured during the Quidditch match. though in my professional opinion, redacted, hardly counts as an injury. In fact, anyone was injured, it was me, and I do not believe I ever rolled my eyes quite so hard in my life. He's a wonder I can even see to write this note. Rather unbelievably, or indeed despicably, the headmaster now wants to cancel Quidditch, all because of pure blood. Redacted, went and redacted before the snitch was even in sight. When I pressed the headmaster slightly, I was told redacted.
Interesting. In the fourth book, a lot of the references that I found last night, it's a lot of it's like British media. So she has like a lot of Agatha Christie. Well, no. Agatha Christie's not British, is she? No.
Yes,
Oh, she is?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh, okay. A lot of the references in her books would be like stuff from Monty Python sketches, like the cockroach clusters. That comes from Monty Python. And then characters that she references are a lot of times from like Agatha Christie mystery novels, which was interesting to me.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Definitely would never have caught probably any of that. I've never read any Agatha Christie, and I really want to. I just have never gotten around to it.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Miss Argus Filch's cat is Miss Norris.
Yeah.
That's from a Jane Austen novel, I think, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
Mhm.
Is it just a person in a Jane Austen novel, or is it a cat?
I think it's a housekeeper.
Oh,
It's
okay.
from Mansfield
Oh.
Park, which is one that I haven't read.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never read Mansfield Park.
Yeah, Mansfield Park. She married a respectable clergyman.
Good for her.
Good old Anglicans letting their clergy make babies. That's the Church of England, right? Anglican, is that right? Did I get that right? Okay.
Yes. Maybe. If you guys are wondering why I went down this rabbit hole, obviously with like Professor Lupin, it was to me like really obvious. But in the fourth book where I was reading, they introduce a character, Ludo Bagman. So he's so the Irish are playing the Bulgarians for the Quidditch World Cup, and they introduce Ludo Bagman. And I'm like, so it was like last night, and I'm like showering, and I was like, Bagman, that's such a weird, like, why did she pick that last name? Like, I don't know any Bagman like in real life. And then I started thinking about it more, and I was like, in British culture, like if you watch those British crime films, um, like when they go to rob a bank, you've got like the driver, right? And then you've got the bag man where he's like, put all the loot in the bag and I'm going to grab the loot, jump in the car and then take off. Like you got the driver, the lookout, the bag man. And I was like, is there like a relationship there? And obviously like he's like a gambler and he's like a kind of a shady character who owes money to the goblins and doesn't pay them. And then that's where I started making the connections. I was like, is there more to these names, in terms of characteristics of the characters or like their appearance and things like that?
Right. Makes sense.
Hmm.
That's cool. I mean, I don't even know if I would have like looked that one up. It feels so like ordinary, I suppose. compared to
Mm.
a name like Remus Lupin or Voldemort,
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
like or Albus Dumbledore. Like
Yep. A lot of fans.
Rita Skeeter. Sorry, just saw that name.
No. Yeah, what does that mean? Rita Skeeter. What is that a reference to?
Oh, it just sounds nasty. Sounds like a nasty thing to call a person. Yeah, I'm afraid to Google Skeeter on my work computer. I'll do it.
What was interesting to me is a lot of fans have theorized that and I think I'm saying her name wrong. Is it Hermione?
it's Hermione. Yeah.
It is Hermione.
Yeah.
A lot of fans think it's a reference to Hermes, the god Hermes, which I guess was like a god of knowledge. And the counterpart, if Hermes was Greek and then the Roman god was Mercury, her initials HG is the periodic symbol for Mercury.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Yeah, that feels like it has some merit to it.
I like
Also, Skeeter's another word for mosquito, which is probably why her name's Skeeter.
Does she suck blood?
Oh, you're right. It is another word for mosquito. But I was also thinking, isn't skeet like? Hold on. I believe that there is a Urban Dictionary definition of that, but I'm pretty sure
Isn't that the thing you shoot like
it's where you
with
shoot
shotgun?
with a shotgun. But it's
skeet shooting. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I realized when I said it, I was like, this still sucks.
You're like, isn't that the thing you shoot? I was like, oh yeah.
Did you see me like pause? I'm like, no, don't give in.
Must hold back.
I think it's actually even like an Olympic sport as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's called like trap shooting, skeet shooting.
Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with Rita Skeeter, but that she takes shots at other people. I don't know.
That's a good point. No, I think it works both ways. I could see her getting to that name. Have you met the character yet? Because you're in the fourth book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't remember. She's in the fourth book, right?
Yeah, she should be because she reports on the.
The Triwizard Tournament. Yeah.
Triwizard Tournament. Wait, is that 5? Oh,
no, Triwizard's definitely 4. Yeah.
No, that's right. Yeah. Okay, that's all right.
Gosh, the actress that they picked to do her is so perfect.
Oh yeah, Miranda Richardson. I think.
Yeah. Nice callback. Yeah, where are you in the book? I wanna know where you're at.
So they're doing the tournament and it's really cool because they have banners and flags that play like the national anthem for that country. And there's like these little figurines of famous Quidditch players that like come to life like in your hand and walk around and bow to you. And yeah, they have all these like fantastical things that you can buy. And there's this gadget that makes the match better. It's like the Omni Oculus or something.
Yeah,
do you guys know what I'm?
Are those like binoculars, sort of, but like wizardy?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like high power.
They like let you zoom in and stuff and like do like crazy things. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And they're really expensive. And Ron's like, oh man, I wish I had enough for those cool goggles. And then Harry's like, I kind of have a fortune. Don't worry about it. And just like drops gold or galleons. And
yeah. I rolled Harry here.
And so he buys the goggles for Ron and Hermione, and he's like, "Don't worry about it. Pay me back whenever." And the leprechauns come out, and the leprechauns start shooting gold everywhere, and the crowd freaks out, and they're like stuffing gold into their pockets and their hat. And like Ron has some line like, "Oh, I guess I can pay you back for these goggles now." And well, one of the details that I loved was there's like a blackboard with like magical writing that appears on it in the stadium with like ads, like you would have like a normal Muggle
Mhm.
stadium.
Yeah.
And there's so much continuity to the world because I think they're called like Bert Birdie's bottled beans or something, and you don't know what you're gonna get, and you might get vomit flavor, or you might get like popcorn, and there's an ad that's written for those beans on this little like chalkboard at the stadium, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I love that continuity, like that idea of like these are like real products, and it's appearing in advertisements. I love that detail.
And also, you can
Yes.
buy those in real life too. And there
What?
is a vomit jelly bean. There is a dirt.
Girl? Did you say dirt?
Yep, there's a dirt. There's an earwax.
Gross. That's the one Dumbledore eats on accident.
Yeah,
He tries to get a gold one and eats the earwax one.
flavors too, but I have never tried any of those nasty ones.
Mm.
But from what I hear, it legitimately tastes like dirt or vomit.
Wait, what? And it's called like the beans, like
Yes,
from
Yep.
the
Bertie
book?
Bott's every flavor jelly beans.
Pretty bots, every flavor beans. Yeah.
We have to get some for the role playing game.
If you go to Harry Potter World at Universal, you can also buy. They have what's the candy store in Hogsmeade?
Oh, there's
I
like
should
3 broomsticks,
I
and
should
there's
know
like
this.
Zonkos.
Zonko's is the joke
Honeydew?
store.
Honeyduke?
Honeyduke, that's right.
Yeah, so they have there's a 3 broomsticks, there's a honeydew like in Harry Potter World, like Diagon Alley.
Oh my
And
god.
there's a Diagon Alley, but then there's a Hogsmeade as well. So there's 2 separate parts. But you can go to like all the like major you know, places that you would go in like
Yeah.
and you can go to Honeydukes and you can buy chocolate frogs. Obviously, they don't move; they're not real frogs.
Ooh, that'd be amazing.
But you do get a wizard like that, like a holographic wizard, like they get in the box.
Like a trading card?
Yes. You can get the beans. You can get a lot of the other candies that are mentioned in the books as well.
Oh my gosh.
You can also buy butterbeer.
Like the sugar quills where like you pretend that you're writing and then you're like eating it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Mm,
It's free.
nice. I have to go.
It's super cool.
That's amazing.
The level of detail. They even have what's the name of the alley that Harry Potter ends up in, and he's trying to use the flue powder to go to Diagon Alley, but he says it weird, and he ends up in like
He
an
ends up in Sideways Alley.
Diagon Alley, but I can't remember what it's called, but it even has that piece too.
Oh wow.
And you can go down there and it's like all dark and eerie.
Yeah, it's like the curse store. It's like the store for like dark arts trinkets. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I don't remember what that, but
it's names. Dark arts store.
Anyway.
Lol. Google Maps did a search, and apparently there's a bunch near me. What?
An Argus is a mythical beast with many eyes that was watchful.
Interesting.
Nocturne Alley, and it's Borgin and Burkes. That's it.
That's what it is. Borgin and Burkes. Yeah, you can go into Borgin and Burkes, and yeah, it's awesome.
Can you go into Ollivanders?
And that's where you can go buy your wand. They even have they have literally an entire thing where you can go like pick your wand and it'll choose, like in the books and stuff, it'll like
Yeah.
choose you, and there's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And you can also do that in Ollivanders if you want.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like kind of pick your wand, and then they have lights and like sound that happens when it like chooses you, and it's like it's your wand. It's pretty cool. And then you can buy just regular wands, have character specific wands that you can buy. So I've got Hermione's. Or you can just go pick out you just go pick out wands that like you like based on the design or whatever. But you can also buy wands that have like a sensor in them, and so you can walk around Harry Potter world and do spells. And it's got like an infrared reader. And so when you do the right wand movement, it reads it, and whatever the spell is will happen. It's freaking cool. It's so cool.
So like if you do the movement, it does different things?
Yeah. So if like one is like Alohomora or whatever, which one is that? Is that make stuff float or something? I can't remember.
That unlocks, right?
Or is that the one that
that's the unlock? Yeah.
One. Or like Lumos to turn on the lights. So like there's like a specific movement for each one around the park, and if you have to stand in the spot and you have to do like the hand movement with your wand, and it'll happen, and it's really it's so cool.
In the card game that I really enjoy, there's magic spell cards, and they have the movement of the wand like in like red fire like on the cards.
Oh.
So like Wingardium Leviosa looks like this. It's like a loop and then like tick down because it's a swish and flick.
Yeah.
And Alohomora is like a circle and then a line through it to unlock something. I wonder if it's the same movements for
it might be
that.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've been, but I wouldn't even, I bet it is.
Have you all played the game? I can't remember.
I haven't played the game, no.
When you get new spells, you do that too. It's like a little mini game where you have to like complete it before like it corrupts. So you have to like do the movement with your joystick before like it messes up, and you have to press buttons at like correct intervals as you do the movement, and then it unlocks it for you.
That's so cool. I love it. The level of detail is awesome.
Ollivander means olive wand.
And I bet his wand is made out of olive wood, maybe.
I would hope so.
Like the actual wand, I would hope so.
I like Nymphadora's wand. That's the one that I want to get.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I have my own though.
Which one did you get, Thomas?
I made mine.
What?
Oh, that one that you had. Oh, that's right. It's so cool looking.
Thanks.
Like,
man, I made one for my sister-in-law too. It's super cool.
It's amazing.
I was looking at the different ones you can buy for the different characters last night. They're pretty different. Which I thought was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know you can get. I think you can get like most of the kind of major characters that are in, like Draco and Dumbledore, and I'm pretty sure Nymphadora is as well, and.
Yeah, hers is like a light wood that has like a cool handle. I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Trying to see if I can get. Yeah, here it is. I'm gonna send y'all the picture of the one I did for my sister-in-law because it's so cool.
Yeah. I think I told Thomas, but I don't think I told you, Christy. I ordered my Slytherin outfit from China. Should be here in 2 weeks. So hopefully before the game.
Perfect. I can't wait to see it.
So, yeah. Kim is coming, and she says she doesn't have an outfit, but she's bringing a wand. She said she has a wand, so
That's okay.
we'll see. Yeah.
That's okay. Outfit not required, but
Yeah.
encouraged.
Encouraged.
You could also just come wearing like your bathrobe and be like, "These are my robes."
There you go. There.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Perfect. I mean, they do call them robes, so yeah.
At some point, I do want to see if I can get you guys around my film friends, because I was talking to him Sunday, and that famous,
yeah.
the famous director, Mike Flanagan, that does all the, Stephen King projects and like Black Mass and all those like cool horror movies.
Yeah.
So I was pretty drunk at the party, and so I walk over to Mark. I was like, hey man, I don't mean to be like annoying, but like, do you really know Mike Flanagan? He's like, oh yeah, I'm super good friends with Mike. I've known him since college. Like, I have his phone number.
What?
We work together all the time. And I was like, are you being serious? And he's like, I used to live in LA before the movie industry moved to Atlanta, and apparently he knew Mike Flanagan in college in California, and Mike Flanagan got his start working and editing for like student TV channels like at the college. Like, that's how he kind of got started, and they all work. Oh, that's amazing, Thomas.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, if I can get you around that group of people, I'd be so happy, because they not name drop all the time, and they're like, I remember working with M. Night Shyamalan at Skywalker Ranch, and he's so nice. And I parked my car next to some of the fighter planes from Red Tails because they were doing it at the time. And I'm like,
So
wild.
cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I will try to get everyone together so you can be friends with him. So
I'll wear my finest colognes.
yeah.
I will cut my hair. Just kidding, I'll cut my hair.
I will comb my hair for this.
Even brush my hair.
So yeah. And I know it's real because he had the original artwork from the movie 9 on his wall. So
Which is so cool. What a great movie. What a cool piece of artwork to have.
It's such a good movie. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that. And the animation.
Wait, Thomas, you made this?
I think you did.
I did. It was a stick. It was this stick, which is on my porch.
Oh, so you found that stick and then turned it.
Already a really cool stick. Like,
yeah, it had like a vine growing on it, so it like naturally had that pattern, so I just kind of like carved it out of it.
Oh.
Like, that's I don't know, even if I found that stick, I'd be like, this is a cool stick. I'm gonna keep this.
Exactly.
Stick.
Whenever we go hiking, I look around because like if I find another cool stick, it's gonna be a wand. So
you should find staff and do a staff.
Cool. Yes.
That's I really want to carve a walking staff. So like that's what I like have my eyes open for. I tried to get blackthorn from Ireland to carve a walking staff. and it was so ridiculous expensive to get the blanks. And I was like, I might as well just buy a shillelagh. Like, what the hell? Like,
I know those words that you used.
shillelagh is a Irish walking stick. It's made of blackthorn.
Oh, okay.
So I tried to get a blackthorn branch, like just like an uncarved blank, and they were almost expensive, if not more expensive than like the finished shillelaghs that like they like were selling. So
interesting.
Was it the cost of the wood itself, or was it that plus like the shipping and all of that?
I didn't even get that far. Like I knew shipping was going to be outrageous, shipping from overseas. But yeah, like you can buy like a finished like blackthorn walking stick, from anywhere from like $50, which might not actually be blackthorn, to like, you can spend as much money on them as you want. But the median price for like what I saw that looked like good quality and like actually the real thing was like about $100 to $150. But to get like a length of blackthorn just plain was about like $100 to $200. I guess that's because like the wood industry, like wood's really expensive. So if you're just buying a little piece of it, you pay a bunch of money. Whereas if you're a company that does woodworking, you buy it in bulk and you save money.
Right.
And it's probably they ship a lot less blanks than they do finished products. There's probably no market for just like selling it at a good price when it's not a finished project. So like that made sense to me, but it was a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's funny. I carved a staff when I was like a kid, like a teenager. And I gave it to my friend Michael, who's Justin's cousin. So when I started hanging out with them again, Michael was like, "Wait a second, I got something to show you." And he like goes and he roots around in his closet and comes out and he's like, "Remember this?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I never thought I'd see that again."
I love that. That's amazing.
Thomas, after your story, every time I'm in the woods walking around, I'm now going to look for cool branches and cool twigs, because honestly, that like twig he found was so cool.
Yeah, and they're not too uncommon. I've seen them before, like as we've been hiking around, but it'd be like I'd have to like saw it off of the branch, like, and I don't want to do that, and also like didn't have the tools. That's a lie. I did want to do that. I didn't have the stuff to do it.
Oh man.
It's actually really frowned upon to take like plants and stuff out of their natural habitat, but it's like that's absolutely what I want to do. Like when we went hiking somewhere nearby, they have bamboo, which is an invasive species, like here. But I like had a Gatorade bottle, so I like dug some out and like kept it, and it's one of the few plants we still have that's like actually alive.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh nice.
My experience is, because it's invasive, is pretty hardy.
That was my thought too, and yeah, it sure is. It's grown just fine.
I'll probably never plant it in not a pot, because it will just...
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it'll just take over the state like kudzu did.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever do prop lifting?
Yes.
I haven't had the opportunity to, but it sounds like a thing I'd engage in.
But I have done it before.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So you're at like Home Depot and you're just like
I have never like snipped anything off, but only if it's like on the floor. I'll just grab it and yeah, why not?
They're not gonna miss it.
It's on the ground and it'll die otherwise.
Exactly.
Or I can take it home and go prop it.
Nice. I like it.
I've yet to propagate anything successfully. I've tried.
I love prop. I usually just do water, and it usually does it.
I really want to get like a big, healthy lavender plant that makes a lot of flowers, but lavender is kind of tricky. You have to abuse it, and you have to abuse it just the right way. So I went through 2 lavender plants that died last year because apparently we didn't abuse them correctly. So
What?
It's
It
amazing.
like it wants full sun and shitty soil.
Yeah.
That's what
Weird.
lavender wants because it's
Really?
English. Yeah.
Like-
Like
Except
I want
Interesting.
sandy, gravelly, rocky soil and to be left alone. And I got seeds and then I researched it and I was like, it takes the plant like 2 full years of growth to begin flowering when you grow from seed. So
Yeah.
honestly, if I had planted them, I'd be working on my first year. So I should have just done it. But
I would love lavender.
my parents have lavender bushes. And like my mom is notorious for having a brown thumb. So of course her lavender is like wonderful and enormous, and the bushes are the size of my freaking desk. Like all she did
Oh
was
my
plant them in the Georgia ground and then leave them alone. So yeah, I tried to propagate lavender from hers, and they were like, "No, thank you. I think I'll die now and start molding." And I was like, "Oh."
Aw.
Amazing.
That's my plant
All
story.
right. It was amazing. Your new name is Professor Oak. And
I would love to
is
be Professor Oak.
That's an
Christy is Pomona Sprout.
honor. I'll take it.
That's like about an hour. I'm sure everyone's hungry now.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Okay, we got to go to the grocery store too. So
Yeah,
There you go.
you gotta recover for the next day.
Yeah, absolutely.
hey, tomorrow we will be halfway. That's good.
Yes. Tomorrow will be halfway.
Yay!
Mhm. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, friends. Make good choices.
Bye.
Bye.